Hey guys, you're not going to believe this, but the Vikings crossed some of the coldest, meanest oceans on Earth with a fire they weren't allowed to actually light. No flames, no cozy camp glow, no crackling comfort, just a tiny, pathetic box buried under ash, holding a smoldering ember they called the sleeping fire. And here's the part nobody tells you. That ember barely gave off any heat at all. But if you lost it, oh, you wouldn't just ruin the day. You'd ruin the voyage, the crew's sanity, and quite possibly your own reputation for the rest of your natural life. Imagine your group chat finding out you were the reason everyone froze. That's the level of shame we're talking about here. And yet this ridiculous, half-alive ember kept entire crews emotionally afloat under skies colder than the Midwest. January, when the propane tank freezes, the Wi-Fi goes out, and you're suddenly questioning every life choice that led you to this house. So tonight, I'm taking you aboard one of those icy ships, out between the fjords and the endless gray sea, to fall asleep with the people who treated frostbite like a personality trait and stubbornness like a national sport. If you're cozy right now, by the way, drop your city in the comments so I know which part of the world is drifting off with me on this chilly little journey. And if you enjoy drifting off to strange, dark, relaxing history, go ahead and tap that like button so this story finds the other night owls out there. Let's step into the cold. Picture a longship, not the shiny one from the history textbook or the Viking TV show where everybody looks like they moisturize. I'm talking the real thing, a 60-foot wooden serpent groaning under frozen waves, with ropes stiff as bones and sails hard as old leather. You can almost feel the deck, permanently wet, permanently freezing, permanently deciding which of your toes it wants to murder first. The cold doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in the way Sunday dread creeps into an American living room around 8 p.m., a chill that whispers, "Hey, buddy." You're not escaping this. The Vikings didn't escape it either. They simply dressed for war with the weather. Wool on wool tunics, trousers, cloaks layered the way modern Americans layer passwords. Then animal hides, furs, boots stuffed with grass or moss that froze anyway, and my personal favorite smears of animal fat rubbed into their boots to keep water out. Yes, they waterproofed their feet with Viking-style Crisco. And still, they were cold. Now, imagine 20 to 40 men wearing all that, packed elbow to elbow on a ship made entirely of flammable wood. And then imagine telling them, "Hey guys, no fire at all, ever, not even a little one, because fire plus wooden ship plus angry waves equals instant Viking barbecue." So instead, they brought this sleeping fire, not a flame, just embers, barely warm, a weak, glowing reminder that somewhere in the world, fire used to exist, and somewhere else, maybe someday, it might exist again. They carried it in a tiny clay box buried under ash, tucked carefully so it wouldn't catch anything. It was fuel for the soul more than for the body, a psychological lifeline. And if the ember went out, no coffee that morning, no hot food, no warmth, and absolutely no funeral pyre if someone died. You can't honor a warrior with an iconic burning ship send-off if you don't have a flame to start the whole mood board. So the man assigned to tend the ember, usually the calm one, the steady one, the guy who somehow gives off responsible eldest sibling in a sitcom. He guarded it like it was a newborn. If he tripped and dumped the ember over the edge, oh, that was it. He was the reason 20 grown men had to huddle under one damp cloak like a football team, sharing one snuggie. He was the reason toes went black. He was the reason morale dropped faster than a Wi-Fi signal during a thunderstorm. And let's be honest, nobody forgets the guy who lost the fire. As we settle deeper into the story, the ship lulls forward, long strokes of the oars moving like slow breathing. You can almost hear their boots slosh across the deck, never dry, always wet, the moisture working its way into bones. Vikings feared a lot of things, but losing toes was near the top. It was the quiet humiliation of frostbite. A warrior could survive spears, axes, and the occasional brother-in-law with a grudge, but frostbite? That hit different. You didn't brag about losing fingers, but a missing toe? That was a casual Tuesday for these guys. The deck was a frostbite factory. Wet planks, frozen rope, wind that slapped your ankles with the icy enthusiasm of a toddler kicking the back of your airplane seat. Boots stuffed with grass that slowly transformed into tiny, frozen bricks around your feet. And still they pressed on. If you're enjoying this little midnight voyage, by the way, consider subscribing. I make these stories so your brain can wander into the dark safely and drift into sleep without fighting the world too hard. Now, let's talk food, or whatever counted as food out there. Imagine waking up on a frozen sea. You're stiff. Your beard has icicles. You have maybe 2 toes contemplating retirement. And for breakfast, you get a piece of dried fish that tastes like ocean resentment, and bread so hard it could file a lawsuit for being classified as food. Salted meat, smoked fish, cold everything, and butter that tasted vaguely like tar because the barrels it came and were sealed with pine pitch. Cooking was forbidden on the ship. Again fire, wood, disaster. So everything they ate was pre-cooked misery. And to wash it down, weak ale, maybe some mead, the Viking antidepressant. Mead gave them warmth for about 10 seconds. Then the illusion faded. Their blood vessels opened, they lost actual heat, and frostbite sneaked in like a raccoon stealing from a cooler. But drinking was good for morale, and morale mattered more than toes. Now, here's something people forget. The Vikings were masters of body heat. Not in a romantic way, in a survival way. When the cold got unbearable, and it always did, they spooned. 20 grown, stubborn men, packed together under one damp cloak, sharing breath and warmth and a mutual agreement that nobody would ever speak of this again. Dignity was optional. Survival was mandatory. And the funny thing? It worked. Humans are space heaters when you stack enough of them. Imagine that moment. The cold howling, the ship creaking, half-frozen men wrapped together, probably making jokes about whose elbow was in whose kidney. Dark humor was their coping mechanism long before memes existed. They didn't fear suffering. They out-stubborned it. Let's raise the stakes a little as the story continues. Picture a storm rolling in, the kind that makes modern sailors file insurance claims. Waves smashing the bow, wind screaming through the rigging, the sleeping fire tucked under a cloak like a fragile secret. The men row harder because rowing keeps blood moving. And when the storm gets loud enough, they start to sing rowing chants, war hymns, songs their grandfathers sang to remind them who they were. It wasn't about sounding good. It was about staying alive. Singing into a storm was peak Viking therapy. The louder the sea roared, the louder they responded. It was defiance, a little bit bravery, a little bit insanity, and a whole lot of if I stop singing, I might start thinking about how cold my toes are. The songs warmed them in a way the ember never could. And yet, that tiny ember remained the heart of the ship, a symbol of home, of hearth, of the warmth waiting in the villages they left behind, of the funeral pyres that burned bright to honor the fallen. To Vikings, fire was sacred. They feared it, worshipped it, depended on it, all while avoiding it on their boats like it was the IRS. A strange relationship, but then again, most of us have strange relationships with the things that keep us going. Now the pace slows, the storm passes, the sea calms, night settles deeper around the ship. You can almost feel that stillness, that moment when the world stops pushing and simply floats. The men shift under their cloaks. Some check the ember, some mumble a prayer, some pretend they're not worried about losing another toe. Will layers scratch softly. A few breaths fog the air. Someone whispers a joke about how this cold makes a Minnesota winter look like a beach day. And quietly, almost unseen, stubborn hope warms them more than the ember ever could. The truth is, the Vikings didn't stay warm out there. They simply refused to freeze. Endurance was their religion. Pain was just another face of life. And warmth, real warmth, came from brotherhood, pride, song, and the simple human refusal to die quietly in the dark. They survived because they believed they would, because the ember stayed alive, because the oars kept moving, because the ocean, for all its anger, respected those who didn't back down. Listen to the quiet now, the water sliding along the hull, the gentle creak of wood, the fading heartbeat of the day, the ember glowing softly in its ash bed, just enough to promise tomorrow. Let yourself drift with them, warm beneath your own blankets, far from frosted boots and salted fish. These men lived through cold that bit deeper than we can imagine, and they found warmth anyway. They made it through the night. You will too. Now rest. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts soften. Let the ember glow gently in your mind. Steady, warm, alive. Good night, traveler. Sleep well.